This video is sponsored by Mississippi Land Bank. Visit mslandbank.com. This is your place. Hey, what's up? Matt Wyatt here. Took a look at Will Rogers, kid who started at quarterback for Mississippi State last year, and his competition this year to win the starting job is Jack Abraham, the former Southern Miss starting quarterback who transferred in there. There's a big difference in their ages. Will Rogers is a freshman. Jack Abraham's a fifth-year senior, super senior, after getting an extra year of eligibility. Going to finish it out at Mississippi State. Competed for the starting job in the spring. That'll carry over into the summer and fall. So I thought we'd take a look at Jack Abraham, a guy who has a big body of work already laid down in college football over his career at Southern Miss. And we can look at not only stats, but watch some plays together, kind of see what his makeup is, maybe get an idea of how this competition is going to look this fall in Starkville. Here's a touchdown against Alabama. He's playing in Tuscaloosa, and he's under center right there, a little play action. Now, this example kind of shows you that he's really played in a lot of different offenses. So, first of all, under center, which he will most likely never do at State. Reverse out, little play fake built into this to try to draw linebackers up. Unbalanced line. There you see, just show a little play fake, get the linebackers drawn up, and then it's get his head around, read it next level. You're getting picks on the inside. If somebody comes open, you could always throw it in there, I guess, to one of those, but you're actually trying to pick and get the back out and catch a linebacker trying to play the run, and that's what they get. And against pressure, delivers it. Just it shows you he's thrown some big passes in games on the road before. He's played in Tuscaloosa, and he's played at State when his team was at a big disadvantage in terms of personnel, and he's played pretty well. Check this out. We got one guy here. Who is it? Let's see. Okay, so right here, our friend gets left hanging. He wants the high five, but he's just not going to get it in this scenario. Now here's one where he completed a deep ball in the spring, but it's a different look defensively. It is a smash route, and that's an old-fashioned route where the outside receiver is underneath to either hold the corner or give you an outlet if the corner drops. And then the receiver goes from the inside on top of him where you're sort of reading off that corner out there. He can't be right one way or the other. We'll watch it, and then I'll show you how it happens. It's 4 receivers, 2 right, 2 left. He's reading the wide side of the field immediately, gets the ball out on time. It's an accurate throw right on the sideline, tiptoeing to get that completion on the smash route, the deep corner. The reason that the read sends him there, and it's the right read, is against 4 wide, you have 4 on the line of scrimmage. Okay, and then you actually have 4 more underneath. So it's almost like, okay, so this is 3, 4 personnel, and then a 5th is kind of walked up near the box. So you only have really 3 DBs lined up deep. So I think that's why automatically he sees 1 safety in the middle of the field, knows I've got smash route over here, and I can just read the corner and get a completion. So it's the right call against this coverage, and he knows that, and he's probably read this route a million times in his career. So, you're reading that inside. If you look at the very top of your screen, you can see that route working. That's the hitch route. Because of the coverage, the corner is going to stay up with it. And now his read goes to the inside. And this defender that's trailing him is that underneath, either nickel defender or whatever. This is the safety trying to get over the top and can't get there because you've run up. We're running away from the coverage. Now, it's not terrible. I mean, he's open for sure, but it's not a bust or anything. You're chasing him down, so you're forcing the quarterback to make an accurate throw. By the time the ball is getting there, he's closing in on the numbers, so it has to be thrown in this little window from the numbers to the sideline. It can't be left inside or underthrown. The DB will catch up and break it up. It can't be overthrown or you run him out of bounds. It has to be an accurate throw. So against a man look, the accuracy is the key. And that's perfect. You can't really throw it any better than that. So if you don't know, the story is he's a Mississippi kid. He went to Oxford High School. Actually grew up an Ole Miss fan, went to Oxford High School, then signed with Southern Miss. And he was a 3-year starter for the Golden Eagles there and threw the ball really well in those 3 years. So over his career there, sophomore, junior, senior, threw for over 7,000 yards, over 40 touchdowns, and 29 picks. So, pretty good touchdown to interception during that time, over 7,000 yards. And the thing, too, that jumps out at you is that in his first year as a starter at Southern Miss back in 2018, that year he completed 73% of his passes, which led the entire country. So he's been really productive. He followed that up his junior year with a well over 3,000 yard passing season. So the guy's been pretty good. He's 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, not the biggest guy at all, but can he throw the football? Yes, absolutely. Here's a play for Jack against Mississippi State in Starkville in 2019. Just gets a go route up top. It's a 2-man route. Gets him matched up on the inside against the safety. And they're both out here on the numbers. And the inside is what's going to be the go route. Outside receiver is kind of bringing it in to clear the way, clear the read up for you if it's man-to-man. Then this defender right here ought to follow him down inside, and he does. And so this is it. You see him matched up, and if you get that, he's going to take it. And it is a matchup thing for sure. That's what it is in this case. But again, take it. Now you see him right there. He's the old idea, if he's even, he's leaving. Like he knows his speed and knows the matchup. It's a matchup thing right here. And he's letting the ball go before he's actually come open. If you can look, okay, DB's turning. I got a head of steam, and he's turning, trying to catch me. And as a quarterback, I'm going ahead and letting it go. It's a nice job by Abraham right here. Now, ball is left just a little bit inside. I mean, it's a touchdown. You're not complaining about it at all. Okay, so you see the position of the football. It's a little bit inside, but the receiver kind of got squeezed on the route over there. The wheel, not a wheel, but kind of got squeezed to the sideline. So there's not room outside. Ball has to be put up here. But what he does is he's got it, vertically kind of out beyond that DB to make sure only his guy has a chance to get the football. So it is definitely a good throw, and that is why it's a touchdown. With the experience for Jack Abraham comes the fact that he's played on some big stages. Okay, so 3 different times in his career at Southern Miss, he played in an SEC stadium against Southeastern Conference athletes. His first year they played at Auburn. That was in 2018, and in that game he went 30 for 44, 68% completions, threw for 215 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Then in the 2019 season, he played at Mississippi State and at Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Against State in 2019, he went 18 of 26, 69% completions, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. And in the Alabama game that year in Tuscaloosa, of course it was a blowout, but he was pretty good, 17 of 26, 65% in the ball game, 174 yards, did throw a touchdown, and did have 1 pick in the game. So what I see there is a guy who, against SEC teams and their athletes in those SEC stadiums and atmospheres, while he was at Southern Miss, and they were certainly very much, outmatched by these teams, he was pretty consistent in that he was distributing the football. He didn't have meltdown games. Okay, one thing he'll have to do in this offense is he'll have to throw that fade at times. This is in the spring game. And so you got one-on-one there into the left side of the field. You got one-on-one, so both outsides. Now, I don't know. We'll watch the play and see if he had fades called, but he chooses to go to his left. And, if he's going to play in this offense, this is one he's got to complete consistently because they're going to throw at this a lot down here in the red zone, taking that one-on-one matchup. In the film study, Will Rogers, we showed you his footwork gets it out pretty quickly. And this is not bad at all. Again, this experienced quarterback who's repped this a ton in practice and over his career. It's not bad at all. I'm watching the steps, and actually you could probably take one less half step right here. I mean, it's really being nitpicky because he completes the football. But, you could probably stand to put that foot in the ground right there and let it go. All right, if you watch his right foot, again, like I said, I mean, it's sort of being nitpicky. But if you watch his right foot right here, he's going to bring that back, plant it. Okay, if I plant it right there and the ball's immediately coming out, he's pretty good. I mean, boom, plant it. So he's catching, one step, plant, throw off that plant foot. That's pretty good right there. and he's able to get a completion out of it. Look at the placement of the football. Tight coverage. You got him beat. The angle and the width on that side, you don't have just a ton of room. If you look at the receiver, he's probably 3 to 4 inside of the boundary. So it's a pretty small window he's got to fit it in right there. But you certainly, with Heath, who is the receiver here, have a jumping advantage. Ball's left inside just a little bit. And it's a great catch. By the way, he reaches out, catches it, and kind of hauls it in with one hand. It is tight coverage. DB does not get his head around. And the ball's inside just a little of where the receiver is, but, I'm not so sure that when you're throwing this bang, bang, you're not seeing where he's going. You're trusting where he's going to be, and you're kind of trying to put it back here on this pylon. This sort of area here is what you're looking at as far as putting the football, and his route took him just a little shallow of that, which probably then makes the ball seem like it's a little bit inside of it. But anyway, that's being nitpicky. It's a completion. It's a nice catch, and pretty good throw. Just maybe half. You can get it out a half second quicker. Again, it's not bad. It's inside, but that's really because of the receiver's route. Here is another fade route. Now it's going to be down here to the bottom of the screen. You can't quite see it because it's off the screen for television, but you just have to trust me. So the route is right down here, bottom of the screen. Another fade route here. Example, throwing it to his left. Ball's on the left hash. It's short side of the field. One little fake into the running back there, put it in his belly. And again, good footwork getting it out. So the first step back is the plant foot. Again, that's kind of what I'm looking at right here. Is first step back is plant foot. Is there an extra hitch in there? Is he able to stick that foot in the ground and immediately turn that ball around and get it back out? And he is. Just kind of opens up his front side and flip his arm. You're not really driving off that back leg, but you're getting it out quickly and on time. And in the placement of the football, there's not a lot of space, but again, it's a touchdown because you're out in front and the ball's out in front. You put it in that window and let your guy make a play. You work on that enough, you ought to be able to do it. So just another example of him throwing that fade route. He's done it in ball games. He'll have to do it a bunch at Mississippi State if he plays. So what's got to happen? If he wants to win the starting job and be like a one-year starter, maybe earn a shot at the NFL, he's pretty much going to have to master the offense. Will Rogers, a little bit taller, longer athlete, played in a similar system, similar terminology in high school, was pretty good and is kind of a leader, as a freshman, and has a year ahead of him in the system and practicing and all that. So Will Rogers, even though he's younger, I think is a step ahead and has a head start. Okay, here he is against Louisiana Tech, and an example just to show you he's an athlete. 4 wides. They bring 5. It's poor protection. Going to step up, but then sees an opening, take off, run, and make a play. He's a pretty decent athlete. It's this is something that Will Rogers, his competitor for the starting job at State, showed he could do as well. Rogers had a touchdown run similar to this, not quite as far away in the bowl game. But with Abraham here, just showing you the ability to take off. Like I said, I think, he has shown throughout his career he's going to step up and look to throw the football. But that being a first choice, sometimes it just opens up for you. You see the defense split right here and just take off. He's thinking first down on 3rd and 7 in a close game on the road in conference play. And then once you get that first down, don't tackle yourself. Make sure they tackle you and finish it off. Okay, here he is in a conference game against UTSA. You got a 3-receiver side down here to his left to the boundaries. The ball's on the left hash. But he's going to hook up with the 3rd receiver to the inside, and that's who we'll watch right here. In terms of his route, he's going to push and get into the middle of the field. I'm showing you this because completing the ball in the middle of the field is something that Abraham did in the spring game and this spring pretty well for Mississippi State. We'll watch the play. You see the takeoff. You split the zone in the middle, and he drives it in there before a linebacker can get over there. You can't see the whole route, but you can see a little bit of it down here. It looks like they're going against the zone. Okay, so you got 4 down linemen. These are your 3 linebackers, If it's nickel, one of those is a safety, but could be. But that's your 7 players underneath. And then corners are soft, so safeties are back. It's a type of zone coverage. And I saw here outside is hitching up. Keep that corner up, give you an underneath option. Number 2 receiver is vertical, probably push up and read off that safety if the thing were continued vertical. And that 3rd receiver inside, push, and then get to the middle of the field and find that opening. And so what the quarterback is seeing is linebacker here underneath and linebacker here underneath. And so, somewhere in this neighborhood, right back here in the middle, is where you got to fit that ball in between those two. So watch the linebackers drop. See right there, initially what happens is, he's headed this way out. You got another who's headed back because of the release. And so what that is going to do is give you that window here in the middle of the field. He's going to fit it in there to a receiver. Ball's got to come out quickly. Good footwork right there. Good kind of turn around. Here's what I mean by that. Watch quarterback in the drop. So you catch 1, 2, 3, little bit of a hitch, gather your feet. You see it, go ahead and get it out of there quickly. And that's one thing too. I think he's got that high completion percentage in his career because it doesn't take him long to get the ball out when the clock goes off or when the buzzer goes off. Hey, get it out, get it out, get it out. Because if he waits right here, if the ball is late, linebacker is going to peel back and either blow up your receiver or knock the ball away, tip it up, and anything in the middle of the field that gets tipped, it's a chance for it to be a pick. And so it's a good job to see it and get it in there. I'll show you some examples of him completing it in the middle of the field in the spring. Okay, so this is an example of a guy crossing and kind of hitting him on the, not necessarily right here in the middle of the field, but as he kind of goes beyond it. But shows you in the spring game a little step up when you initially don't get the ball out and then able to find a receiver. We'll watch the play. It's Wally in the slot to his right, going to come across that zone coverage into that second window. And here's what I mean by that. Instead of the first window, it goes to the second. Here's how I'll kind of show you. You've got, dropping linebackers, 3 in the middle of the field. So the windows in that middle are going to be pretty tight. And what you have is a crosser underneath receiver. That's Heath going across the formation. So as you wind it forward just a little bit, if the ball comes out right now, if there's no pressure, if there's no leak in the protection, the ball comes out right now. I know it's hard to see, but probably up here to the left of your screen, Wally's going to get in this window, and it's between these two guys right here. Okay, so, right in here is kind of the first window, but it's pretty tight. That may be part of the reason the ball doesn't come out. So you could get it underneath right here if you're getting it out on time. But you don't. And as it continues, here's one thing happens to him. Just a little bit of pressure in his lap. So instead of unloading right now to the shallow cross, he steps up, which extends the play, extends the timing. Again, I think if there's no pressure at all, then, most likely this is your target right here is Heath. But because there's a little bit of pressure, he's going to step up and go to that next window and bring it around here, which is behind that next linebacker, which works out well. That's what I mean by the second window. All right, this is a fun one, I think, to look at right here. 3rd receiver inside to his left. Okay, so it's 3 by 1, 3 receivers to his left, and that's who he's going to hit on a vertical kind of inside, working into the middle of the field or over to the other hash. You'll watch it, and you'll see that it's vertical. There's timing, only 3-man rush, drives it in there for a completion in the middle of that defense with defenders all around it. So how does it work? I think it's a pretty interesting play from a couple of standpoints. One is coverage. Okay, so initially, he sees. Let me change this for you so we can see a little better. Initially, it looks like to him probably 1 safety left, 1 safety right, like 2 safeties over the ball. But because the ball is on the hash, it's a little bit skewed there. Maybe he knows that ball's on the right hash. So really what the defense is doing and you're going to see it on the snap, is putting a safety in the middle of the field. They're bouncing the field regardless of where the ball is. So he's going to be deep. He's going to have deep third. And this corner on this side is going to drop. You're actually going to go from what pre-snap might be a 2 safety look, but it's actually 3 deep coverage with everybody else underneath, which gives him the opportunity then to, play off the safety. The other thing that he's doing is he's pushing to that opposite hash, is you're going to play off that underneath linebacker, and that's really who he's throwing a football off of right here. So as the play is snapped, you see the linebacker come underneath, his eyes go to that side, and this is what you get. I mean, with linebacker here, linebacker underneath, if he gets behind and in front of that safety, there's a window there. The same thing is happening to the outside with the number 2 receiver. As he works vertical, he's going to find a throwing lane also. So it can't be covered if the receivers are running to open space. It's just a matter of, can you fit it in there? It's not a bad job by the defense at all, because they are closing. I mean, this is a linebacker turning back to find the ball, another turning back to find the ball. And it's just an excellent throw, because it literally is a 2.5 to 3 yard window that the quarterback has fit the ball in there. And that's a timing thing as well. And completing the ball against zone is all about timing. Completing it against man is all about accuracy. So Jack Abraham, if he wants to win the job, has got to master the offense in a pretty short period of time, and that's going to be over the course of summer, but then you get into fall practice. He'll just have to get them in the end zone more consistently, more regularly, get them up and down the field more than his competition. And if he does that, they'll play him. Mike Leach has showed you in the past, they don't play favorites. It'll simply be who's the guy that's getting you up and down the field and score more points in the preseason, and we'll play that guy. So I think at this point, nothing's decided. Will Rogers probably ahead. We'll see. But this kid can play. And I think it's going to be a fun competition to follow once we get into August. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Mississippi Land Bank for supporting these videos. Find them online at mslandbank.com. Thanks to Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Visit favrates.com and check out an agent near you. And I'll see you on the next one.